This Friday morning on RaiderRise, the middle school Raider Student Network visits Raider Vision for a full-day boot camp.
The boys varsity soccer team wins a district final, now moving on to the regional playoffs.
And Santi Ferrero comes back to teach us more about how to DJ. All that and more coming up
on RaiderRise.
Good morning, Raiders. I'm Kara Gazatua.
And I'm Harper Migdal, and welcome to this episode of RaiderRise. Our SEND students visited the upper school this week and attended an STN workshop. The workshop took place from 10:45 to 2:45, and they worked on preparation for the STN national competition coming up in February.
Teams led by Raider Vision students came together to strengthen their skills, rotating through small segment-based workshops. They worked on anchoring, planning, editing feature stories, and much more.
Our Model UN team excelled at the Gator Conference this past weekend at the University of Florida. They won outstanding large delegation and many students earned individual awards. Best delegate was awarded to Elisa Tarak and Joey Herring. AJ Shadiva and Aisha Alawalia received honorable mention. Congratulations to all the other students who won awards. The students left empowered and are looking forward to their next conference.
Another team that thrived this week was the boys varsity soccer team. On Wednesday, they defeated LaSalle and took home the title of district champions. This is the 36th time the boys soccer team has won districts. They won 2-0 with goals by Gabriel Desrovich and Bruno Rapalda. The boys will now be moving on to regional playoffs, where they will fight for their spot at states. Wishing you the best of luck at regionals.
Senora Calderin is offering an intensive Spanish summer program. It is a full immersion, 3-week Spanish-only experience featuring dynamic classes, cultural activities, and field trips to destinations like Little Havana for authentic conversation practice. Plus, fun extras such as chocolate tasting and exploring Latin American cacao traditions. The program wraps up with an unforgettable week in Puerto Rico where students will be surrounded by culture and able to apply all the skills they have learned throughout the course.
This is a summer immersive Spanish course that will be conducted in the month of June, from the beginning to the end of June. The first 3 weeks will be here in Miami at Gulliver with a variety of field trips from chocolate tasting to art to reading of books and books to dancing at a dance academy, immersed in the language. And the last week in Puerto Rico from June 22nd to June 27th. So what do you do if you want your children to take advantage of this wonderful opportunity? You contact Senora Calderin. My email, my phone number, and all of my contact information is in the flyer.
Now for announcements. For freshmen, HIP Module 6 will be presented on Monday, February 2nd and Tuesday, February 3rd.
Juniors will be traveling to Boston and visiting different colleges next week from Wednesday to Friday.
On February 7th from 7:30 to 12:30, there will be Breakthrough Miami Super Saturday. Volunteers and students will be joining all over campus to spend a full day of learning and having fun.
Achieve Spark will take place next Saturday, February 7th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Caribbean K-8 Center.
That's it for announcements. Now back over to Ale for a broader look at this week's weather.
Thanks, guys. Now for the weather today. It's going to be around 70 degrees with a 65% chance of rain, so you're going to want to have a rain jacket nearby. Next, it's going to be the usual Miami breeze that we all know. Looking further into the week, Sunday, the cold front finally begins to hit us, having a high 53 and a low of 33, so it's going to be really cold. Looking further into the week, the cold front begins to go away as the days get warmer, Wednesday having a high of 71, which is still relatively cold for us down here in Miami, but its low is 53. Which is going to be the high for Sunday. So you're really going to want to stay warm, gather around the fireplace, and make some s'mores. That's your full weather report. Next, after the break, Santi Ferrero continues to teach us how to become a DJ in Behind the Decks.
Thanks, bro. I'm glad we're together.
Harper, have you ever wanted to become a DJ?
Well, Kara, I would try it, but I don't know anything about it.
Don't worry. Junior Santi Ferrero is going to take us behind the decks for a second episode and teach us more of the basics.
What's up, guys? I'm for Music and welcome to episode 2 of Behind the Decks. So last episode we talked about everything you need to become a DJ, and finally I'm going to explain why DJs actually need headphones, and it's not to look cool. DJs wear headphones so they can listen to the next song they're gonna play while the other song is being played to the crowd. So they're listening to the next song before anyone else. It sounds crazy, right? Let's bring in the ironing board. I couldn't find a table, so we're gonna have to use an ironing board. Don't try this at home. All right, we have the board right here and some cables, so let's plug in. Let's start with the board first. Now let's plug the other side of the cable into the speaker. Make sure the red one goes on the right and the gray one goes on the left. And because I recommended the FLX4 in the first episode, all we're gonna need is a USB-C cable and a computer. And next episode, we're gonna play our first song, but we're gonna have to make a really hard decision, so stay tuned. And we might even be able to do our first transition if you guys are ready. Thank you guys for watching the second episode of Behind the Decks, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Santi. Do you think you'll try it now?
Absolutely, Kara.
Well, that brings us to the end of this week's RaiderRise.
Thanks for spending your morning with us.
From headlines around the world to milestones here at Gulliver, we hope you leave today a little more inspired.
We'll be back next week with more stories, more moments, and more reasons to rise.
Keep rising, Raiders!